Hey everybody, this is just some quick footage of me playing some test games and playtesting the red deck. So this is just me going through and seeing what I can do with Firewave. The results, I think, were quite impressive. I was very, very happy with the way this deck performed. Starting out with game number 1 here. Now this deck is a hit and run deck. Do not do full matches with this build because by game 2, they will be on to all your tricks. They will be ready for what you have and they will shut you down. So this is a hit and run deck. One game, get out of the room. Now this was a crazy hand because I was running the one land. I kept the one land hand. But the reason I did that is I had the wild guess that I could pitch Chandra's Phoenix to. I had a lot of really good cards. I had a lot of really good options that I thought would be okay. And this, of course, is just footage that I happened to be recording. There will be some jump cuts and stuff where I went to the other screen, where I went to my Mac partition to go ahead and get some work done over there while I was playing these people. So I'm going to be switching back and forth. The screen might move a little bit. It just did, so hopefully that works out okay and I don't have to have too many of those cuts in there. He's going to go ahead and unsummon my guy. I'm not super happy with this. At least I have playables, though. I don't know what the hell this is. Like, this is ridiculous to me. So this obviously is not the best person playing that I'm playing against right now. But still, I think this is a really impressive game, because I am running just the one land, and I still do... this deck does what it's supposed to do. I'm going to bash in for the one. I don't really care if I kill this Phantasmal Image, because that works out great for me. Personally, don't have a problem with that. I go ahead and drop down another Gobbly-Gob and pass turn. I'm still worried that I haven't seen that other mana, but like I said, I've got the Wild Guess, I've got the Phoenix that I can pitch to the Wild Guess, and Phoenix will, potentially come back at some point. I also like having Reverberate, Flame Slash for 3 mana. I can kill, multiple creatures on his side of the field, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't care about blocking right now. He's only taking me to 19. I have bigger things to do. These goblins are basically kill spells, because if he decides to block any of my goblins, if he kills a goblin at any point and it points at this 5/5, it points at any of those creatures, that thing just dies. All my goblin has to do is go ahead and point at it. Now this is one of my favorite plays. This is absolutely fantastic. I get to lay this, and I get to play my Grim Lavamancer, I believe. I'm thinking about my different options. I don't know if I want to do this yet or not, and then I decide, this is perfect. I can't wait to show you guys this. This is so sick. I love it. Disintegrate for 0. Target the 5/5. Get that fucker in the yard, sir. In the yard, 1 mana, kill a 5/5. You cannot beat that. I don't have a problem with that because, like I said, I still have the Wild Guess. I've got things on lock. These 1/1s that I have out on the field are super important because I do feel that they will be able to just kill pretty much anything that he lays down. Like that thing. If I can kill one of these 1/1s, I can point at that 3/4 and that thing is dead. So it's really impressive presence that I have out on the field. So I keep drawing cards. These are not what I want to be seeing. I have the Flame Slash. I can kill the 3/4. But I've also got some cards in the yard at this point. So I want to go ahead and do this because I think about what's going to happen here, and I'm pretty sure I was really surprised that he pitched his own 1/1. But then I realized right here that he's going to kill my 1/1, but that's okay because I have a backup plan. I have a contingency plan for that. So I'm killing that thing. I'm pointing at him. He's going to point at my 1/1, obviously. That's the only thing he can do, but I get to respond. In response to that, I go ahead and get rid of 2 cards. I'm going to go ahead and do the 2 damage to him. There are triggers all over the screen. It is a freaking connect the dots in this piece. Go ahead and get rid of that thing. Get that thing in the goddamn yard. This guy takes a little bit of damage. It takes a little bit more. No, that's all he's going to take for right there. That's a fantastic turn for me. I mopped up his side of the field, got rid of some creatures, and I'm feeling pretty good. I've got the Wild Guess. I've got that Sulfuric Vortex in my hand. So again, these are these cuts. I'm cutting back and forth. I'm doing stuff on my other screen as well. But I've got that Sulfuric Vortex in my hand, so I feel pretty good about that. He's at 13 life. I'm at 19. I'm feeling the Vortex right now. But I don't want it to get countered. That's my biggest thing, because once Vortex hits the field, he's got no way to make me pick that up, and the extra damage is really going to start dealing out to him. So I play something that I'm not going to be super worried about if it gets, and then I forget if I play a land because I switched. I'm focusing on other things, but I go ahead and I get rid of that card because I wouldn't have been too upset if he had canceled that, because he was sitting on 5 open mana. I'm not really sure what he's doing here. He's ending turn. He's making me really, really sad because I want Vortex on the field, but I don't want to get screwed. So the thing I'm waiting for is the Reverberate, because if I can get to 5 mana, I can Sulfuric Vortex. If he tries to cancel it, I can Reverberate the cancel, get that done. Vortex is on the field, and that will kill him. I'm pretty sure that that's going to be enough. He's going to play this. I'm really excited because I've got the Reverberate, which means that I can recast it. But the Delve doesn't work. He goes ahead. He doesn't get anything worthwhile. I don't even wait to end step. I'm just going to go ahead and outrage that and take him down to 11. I get my Phoenix back, of course. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. He's completely tapped down, so I don't even have to worry about the cancel, except for the fact that he could have Force of Will. So we go ahead and we drop Sulfuric Vortex down. We wait for the Force of Will. Doesn't happen. Going to go ahead and pass turn. I've got the Reverberate on lock in case he plays a card draw or anything like that, because I would love to take advantage of that as well. Reverberate's just a good utility card. It's really going to drive this deck, get behind the wheel whenever you have it. It's going to make things really go off for you. He lays this 2-1. I do not give a shit about that 2-1. I couldn't care less. I am pretty well off right now. The Pillar of Flame is nice. There's a lot of different ways that I can kill this guy. I make it's not really a huge misplay. Like, I knew it wouldn't work, but we'll talk about it when it happens. I knew it wouldn't work, but I did it anyway because I just wanted to see if the game would let me. But we will talk about that in a second. I bash it in for the 2. He takes the damage, which is amazing. I can go ahead and get rid of that guy because right now, with Vortex on the field, I just want to make sure he doesn't have playable creatures. He thinks about canceling it. Huge mistake on his part, because that creature still would have died. That's why he flashed me. I think he realized it though, which is good. He's at 5. I've got this sewn up right now. He's going to Claustrophobia my bird. I do not care. I've got another bird in hand. And this is going to be the turn that I actually win this. He's going to lay that guy. That guy makes no difference to me because I have the Chandra's Outrage. But then I wanted to see... The game is pretty good about triggers and stacks and stuff, but I have seen glitches and things go off before. So I draw this land, and I go ahead, and I'm like, will it let me Reverberate this and kill him? And it doesn't, because it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because he dies, and then the damage is dealt. Dies, damage, the other one fizzles. My bad, okay? I just wanted to see. Now, I obviously could have played my big fat bird, slapped him in the face. It doesn't matter. There's no way on God's green earth, even if he takes an extra turn after this one, he's still dead. So I didn't care. I was like, you're not really going to get many opportunities to fuck with the game and see what you can make happen. So I decided to see what would go on. Now, I'm not an asshole, so I go ahead and just pass turn here. I could have a Slith Firewalker, which you don't get to do very often, but I just pass turn to him. The 2 damage is going to take him to -1, and that is going to be my first win with this deck. I shot these last night, so I'm not positive what exactly I did. I'm just kind of flopping around here. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. What the hell was I doing? Oh, I was thinking about what I would do to the deck. But I don't think I want to make any changes right now at this point. I think it's pretty solid. I think this is mostly after all the changes have been made. So I'm going to start searching for another match. And here he is, our next opponent. He's got the goblins. I like looking at some goblins when I'm playing the red. I don't know. It's just, it's a homey feeling. Now this, I can get behind. I got the Browbeat. I got the Disintegrate. I'm like, you know what? What's this guy playing? I go first. I'll draw into something good. The Hostility's great. Inferno Titan's great. Obviously, I don't have the mana to play those right now, but the Browbeat's good to have out. We see this white mana. I'm a little bit worried because he's playing dudes. Now I'm really excited because I get to disintegrate the shit out of that thing, and I will always do that. That's the best thing. If you're the red guy and you play first against this human pile, you are in for a treat because the humans cannot cope with you if you're able to get that first mana down and kind of exile, get some of these assholes out of the field. Now I'm a little bit worried. Now on my next turn I get to play Browbeat, but I assume he's just going to take the damage and I'm going to run out of gas relatively quickly. Now the nice thing is that I do have the Inferno Titan. Obviously I also draw a playable creature, so I play that because you want to save the Browbeat for later. You know, not super late because 5 damage for 3 mana is fantastic any way you cut it. But I personally like the cards better than the damage. There's a potential to do much more than just 5 damage with the cards you draw. Draw another playable. Now I've got multiple playables in my hand. I'm really excited. We're going to go ahead and bash him for 1 because I want to see if he will exile this or anything stupid like that, because that's going to put me on point for Hostility and Inferno Titan even faster. So I get to do this. I got 2 damage on the field, and since he hasn't played anything, I think Browbeat's going to be even better. I always have to read this because I'm like, is it me? Who is what with what? I do want to draw the cards, please. But now I think he's worried because I don't think he can block the 2 dudes. So he doesn't take the damage because he doesn't want to die. Now I've got Fire Servant, Hostility, and Inferno Titan all in my hand, along with a 3rd Goblin Arsonist. I got all 3 in the deck all day. And I'm really excited about this because I've got the mana for it. I've got 4 showing, the 5th in my hand. I just have to draw. I just have to curve out. Inferno Titan is going to get Gank E all over those creatures. I get really excited here in a second because he's going to go ahead and Path to Exile, and I get freaking stoked because I think that I am going to be able to Inferno Titan on my very next turn. But, like, I get super excited here. I'm just like, yes, but he picks his own guy, which, hey, that is a thing. He was obviously having some mana troubles in his mind. But I draw the land anyway. The only thing is that I didn't get to ramp up to it, which does make me a little sad. I like to go ahead and get my attack in here. I want to keep him kind of suppressed, keep him kind of beat down at this point. He doesn't block, which is fine for me. I get to play the Fire Servant. I kind of want to eat up any other Path to Exiles or anything that he might have early on. Fire Servant's really good. I don't have anything else in my hand that is going to react with Fire Servant. You know, like I don't have a spell in my hand that reacts to Fire Servant, so he's just down there as kind of a scare tactic. As far as I'm concerned, this guy thinks he only has a turn before he takes like 10 damage, because I could have the hammer. Or Lava Axe. It's not Volcanic Hammer. My bad, sorry. Volcanic Hammer was like 3 damage. That was way back in the day. So, he's going to attack for the 1. I don't really know. Oh, we missed him just getting my guy. So this is pretty awesome because now I do have more damage in my hand than I used to. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Inferno Titan and free my Fire Servant. Now I have 2 huge colossal threats out on the board. But what I was saying earlier, playing that Fire Servant was awesome because it's going to eat that kind of removal, that Fiend Hunter, O-Ring, whatever this guy was going to drop, so that I can drop my Lava Titan and my Hostility and just kind of have all that stuff going off. The Fire Servant was kind of a red herring or a misdirect in this game because I didn't have anything in hand at the time. Obviously, I've got a lot of opportunities to draw that, though, and I got it with the Syrian Spear. So I have a lot of outs right now. Next turn is going to be pretty bloody for Zigalt. I think that's a friggin' Pokemon. But anyway, things are going to go pretty poorly for him. He does have the O-Ring, though, so I know my tits are gone. He is ringing my tits. They're out of here, but I've got Hostility and 6 damage on lock, so I'm not too upset about losing my titties to the Ring of O. That's gone. Doing okay. Applying a lot of pressure to this guy. Obviously, he didn't have a ton of playables, but I mean, if I hadn't been able to get rid of that 1/1, I would have been in pretty big trouble, so this wasn't exactly a bad hand for him. I get to play a 6/6 Haster, which is basically just 6 damage for 6. I love it. I bash all out. There's no reason not to. I've got 12 damage out on the field. If he blocks a 1/1, I still get to go to town. I assume he's going to block the 6/6 here and take 6, but that still puts him at 9, which is well within striking distance considering Hostility's ability and the fact that I have a Syrian Spear. He goes ahead and takes it. I assume that he's given up at this point, really. I don't know what else he could do. But the Searing Spear is going to be like the final nail in the coffin, especially with hostility out there. There's not a lot that he could do. I'm not really positive why I do this in particular, but I do Searing Spear him. I don't know what I was trying to ensure against now, but at the time I was like, I want to make sure that I win this, because he had all that open mana, but I don't know what he could have played. I don't know what I was worried about. He could have flashed something in, but he was only at 3 life. But I did want to make sure that I got those extra guys. The Fire Servant and everything, that's also important to note that the Fire Servant doesn't like stack with that, because Fire Servant reads specifically like when the damage is dealt, it's doubled. So that's not really gonna work, and it's important to note that. So I think that's a pretty good thing to see. I checked my leaderboard score right there because I wanted to see if I was beating people that were increasing my rank, so people that were better than me, or if I was just kind of like waiting around in the shallow end of the pool. No offense to anyone, but I wanted to see what I was at. I like to do that a lot when I'm playtesting, because it lets me kind of gauge if my rank is barely going up, I'm beating opponents that aren't really helping me. But if my rank is kind of jumping up by like 10 points or 20 points, then I know that I'm beating, capable people. I know that this is a build that is going to be useful in the long game. I think we've got one more match going against Toonfish. I do remember this one, so this was pretty good. Again, I filmed all these last night, just adding the commentary now. We've got kind of a weird hand here. It's a little slow. He plays first. I want to get rid of it. I love that 1-drop. I've got a lot of fun things in my hand. Again, a little worried about the mana. I run 24 of them, none of the fetch or anything like that, and I'm terrified of this, because the second I see that land, I know I'm facing Moldaya. So, first of all, I'm very happy that I picked a lower tier, like a lower cost hand. I'm super excited that I have a 1-drop, because Moldaya is going to get in my ass if we go to late game. I do not have time. Like, maybe I can get an Inferno Titan on my turn 6. Maybe that'll be enough to kill him. But in all seriousness, my turn 6 is like his land drop 13. That's not going to be good enough for me at all. So I'm sitting here, I'm kind of panicking because I'm just drawing lands. I'm thinking like I need Reverberate or something. I mean, I've got the Lava Axe in hand, so I'm a little bit worried. I don't have any removal. He could drop the Life Gain guy. The Life Gain guy in this matchup is going to shut me down, because even though this isn't as direct damage as the old red deck in 2013, I still need that direct damage. It's a huge component. So the Life Gain guy screws me, but it's not the Life Gain guy. It's just that dude. The best part about this is that he flips nothing. So I know that I can Chandra's Outrage it eventually, but sickest rip off the top. I'm so excited about this. I think about it for a couple of minutes, but you know what? I have to kill that thing. I cannot have him just ripping lands. So we go ahead and axe that thing, do 1 damage to him, and I get to bash in for an additional 1. So that worked out perfectly. I am in love with that. We've got the Chandra's Outrage as well, and that'll be active next turn. So now if he drops that land drop health regen guy, I'm happy. He drops this thing. Sadly, I know that I'm going to have to Chandra's Outrage that guy. He also has the All Is Dust, so now I'm worried about my Fire Servant, my Inferno Titan. I don't like where this is heading. I have to kill this thing main phase right now. I might as well do it my first man so I can do the additional 1 damage to him, because if I had passed turn, he would have priority and he'd be able to play those lands off the top of his deck, and I would have to respond, so that would have been terrible. So I have to do the Outrage right there and do the 4 damage to the creature, 2 damage upstairs. So I've taken care of a lot of his land drops. I know that he has All His Dust, and now he's at 6 mana, and so this is the crux of the entire match. Comes down to this right here. He's at 6 mana. I have Lava Axe and a Fire Servant. So I'm going to sit here and I agonize over this decision, because Fire Servant comes down, next turn Lava Axe, 10 damage with Phoenix. I will win this match. But if he has a land in his hand, then he gets to play it, have the 7 mana, and wipe the board, destroy my Fire Servant. So I'm really upset by this. I don't know what to do. This is the decision that's going to win me this match, though. I go balls out. I'm like Fire Servant on the table. At the very least, I'll get to Inferno Titan maybe next turn. No land drop. He plays the Primeval Titan, and I am ecstatic at this point. I know I've won at this point, because I'm about to do 10 damage, plus I've got 2 damage, almost instant speed in my hand. He's got no instant speed removal except for Tangle, which isn't removal, but it will prevent that damage. I get the Pillar Flame, which is just icing on the cake. This cannot go wrong for me. I can't miss this. So I'm about to do 10 damage straight to his face. I think about the attacks and what I need to do, but the fact that I have the Pillar of Flame and the Chandra's Phoenix, I don't think that there's a lot that can go wrong because I have this Goblin out here, and I know that I can block the 6/6. Goblin will die, he's at 2, I get to Pillar of Flame and he dies. Because if I Chandra's Phoenix, he could Tangle. Tangle would prevent the 2 damage, I would be sad, but I've got the Pillar of Flame. I mean, I've got this. There's nothing wrong that can happen here. He's got the Ola's Dust, it only costs 6 right now, but it doesn't even matter, I don't give a shit. I go ahead and I just block the hell out of this thing because I don't want to take the damage. I'm showing you that the Goblin is going to take him down to the 2 that's necessary for him to lose. I mean, I go ahead, I double block this because I don't give a shit. I don't really know. I just didn't want to take a lot of damage. That's what happened. Fire Servant wasn't important at this point. He's at 2. So we go ahead and just aim that at players. He's going to take the 1. And I guess he could have dropped the life gain guy. And I would have been in trouble because he could have been at 4. He would have 12 damage out. I would have the 4 on there, though, and then I draw the Reverberate, which is just icing on the cake. I don't think he could have won. If he had the life gain guy, I mean, he could have been at 4, he could have been at 6, but I still would have taken him down to 2. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have pitched Fire Servant in front of that thing. I really didn't have a reason to do that. But there you go, you guys. That is the playtesting for the red deck. It is ready to go. I'll be doing a 60 on it very, very soon. That might be the first 60 I do because this red deck is running way better than I ever thought it would. It is running like the red deck of my dreams right now. So I'm really happy about that. I'm excited to get in there and see what comes of it, what comes to fruition from playing that thing. Anyway, you guys, thanks a lot for watching me kind of playtest this thing. We will be getting into that later on, probably early next week. We'll start doing our 60s on Monday. So the rest of this week is going to be playtesting various decks, looking at builds, seeing what we can do to make them better. But this red deck is running very, very well for right now. I'm very pleased with it. Anyway, you guys, thanks again, and I will see you next time.